Queen Elizabeth II was born on April 21, 1926. She is the longest reigning modern monarch in British history and managed a great deal of change in her family, nation, and the world. The Queen succeeded to the throne in 1953 and ruled for more than 70 years before dying on September 8, 2022 at the age of 96. Today, we will go back in time and revisit the life of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The grandfather of Queen Elizabeth II, King George V, ruled the British Empire from 1910 to 1936. He and his wife, Queen Mary, are highly devoted to the traditions of a monarchy. They had two sons, Prince Edward and Prince George. Their oldest son, Edward, is the heir to the throne. Edward's younger brother, Prince George, married Elizabeth, the mother of Queen Elizabeth II. The royal couple chose to help the people from the background, opposite of Prince Edward. They conceived a baby girl on April 21, 1926 at exactly 2:41 a.m. This baby will be a huge part of the people's hearts and play an essential role in the affairs of the British monarchy. Her name is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, also known as Princess Elizabeth, who later will be Queen Elizabeth II. Princess Elizabeth made her debut appearance in public during a royal wedding. At a very early age, she was considered well-mannered. People say that she always did what she was told by adults without any hesitation. Little did Princess Elizabeth know that a string of events will change her life forever. In her childhood days, she would play with her sister in the garden of their model house. Like most children, she also enjoyed playing with her little dolls. On January 30, 1936, King George V passed away and his eldest son, Edward, took over the throne. However, he faced a major predicament. Just like out of a movie, he had to choose between his royal duties or his love for a woman from America named Wallis Simpson. He finally confessed to his mother and made a choice and renounced the crown to be with the woman that he loves. He was then exiled with his new bride. 1937 was the year that Prince George was crowned the King of England. Princess Elizabeth knew that things would change. Now her father was the King of England. She was only 11 years old, and she knew that one day she too will have big shoes to fill and will be the Queen of England. In 1937, numerous British children were evacuated because of the war, and they were sent to the countryside and even to foreign countries for their safety. King George wanted his daughter to make an important contribution to the war. He let Princess Elizabeth, who was 14 years old, make a special radio speech to comfort British evacuees. She practiced for weeks end and put every beat of her soul into that speech.
To you living in new surroundings, we send a message of true sympathy.
Princess Elizabeth and her sister Princess Margaret spent most of their time in Windsor Castle, away from London, to avoid German bombers. Simply by staying in Britain, they boosted the morale of the people and were symbols of English defiance. Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip met when she was only 8 years old at a royal wedding. They are distant cousins and both great-great-grandchildren of Queen Victoria. It is common for royals marrying their cousins since traditionally it is a means of strengthening their political alliances. The two met again at the Royal Naval College in 1939. Princess Elizabeth was said to be smitten with Philip and amazed by how athletic he was, that he can easily jump over tennis nets. They exchanged correspondence for years afterward. When the war first began, Elizabeth was still a child. When the war was finally over in 1945, she had grown into a young woman who had won the people's respect. On July 8, 1947, Elizabeth and Philip announced their engagement to the public. She was 21 years old, and for a decade, she showed how she played the role of a princess. As she happily waves to the people, she knows that the day of becoming the queen is near. They married on November 20, 1947 at Westminster Abbey. In 1952, Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh went on a tour of the British Empire. Her father, the king, has been ill, yet he seemed to be recovering. So she continued with the journey with Philip. A week later, she was called back from Africa with unfortunate news. On February 6, 1952, Princess Elizabeth was 25 years old when she received the news of her father's death and her accession to the throne. The whole British Empire mourned the passing of their beloved king. She was crowned on June 2, 1953, and she solemnly promised to govern the people according to their respective laws and customs. The royal tradition was a very huge part of Queen Elizabeth's life, and she performed her duties with honor, passion, and dignity. From military parades to command performances, she was ready to give her best to the people. All over the world, from Australia to Africa, she builds a connection of genuine love and compassion. And because of this, she is respected and welcomed everywhere that she goes. She also became head of the Commonwealth and queen of 7 sovereign Commonwealth nations: the United Kingdom, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, Australia, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. The troubles in Northern Ireland, devolution in the UK, the end of African colonialism, the UK's membership in the European communities, and exit from the European Union all occurred during Queen Elizabeth's constitutional monarchy. Her domains changed in number throughout time as other lands attained freedom. Among her several important journeys and encounters are state trips to China in 1986, Russia in 1994, and the Republic of Ireland in 2011, as well as 5 Pope encounters. Queen Elizabeth was a patron of more than 600 organizations and charities. The Charities Aid Foundation estimated that Elizabeth helped raise over £1.4 billion for her patronages during her reign. Her main leisure interests included equestrianism and dogs, and even owned 30 corgis throughout her lifetime. Scenes of relaxed informal home life were occasionally witnessed. She and her family, from time to time, prepared a meal together and washed the dishes afterward, showing glimpses of casual laid-back home life. Elizabeth took her coronation oath seriously and had a strong sense of civic and religious obligation. She participated in worship services with the National Church of England, in addition to her official role as Supreme Governor of the established Church of England. She showed support for interfaith relations by meeting with representatives of other churches and religions, including 5 popes: Pius VII, John XIII, John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and Pope Francis. In her yearly Christmas message, she would often include a personal statement about her religion. Queen Elizabeth once said that our beliefs are of fundamental importance. The teachings of Christ and her accountability before God provide a framework in which she tries to lead her life. Like many of us, Queen Elizabeth admitted that she has drawn great comfort in difficult times from Christ's words and example. Do you know any interesting facts about Queen Elizabeth? Let us know in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.